Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have a Les Paul Standard on the bench today. We're doing a cleanup, setup, restring, and one of my pet peeves about Les Pauls. Let's get to work. If you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe, comment, visit my website even. If you need work done, we're in the Fort Lauderdale area. I think we did this guitar maybe, I don't know, 8 or 9 months ago. It's definitely due for strings. They're not too grungy looking, but by age, just by age. String of choice, as usual. This is my pet peeve with Les Pauls. And guys get the boogering around with these things, and all they're doing is turning the wires. They go, okay, I want to get that straight. Well, no, there's a way to do that, and you got to take the cover off. So let's do that first. I got another one there. It must be for the Paul Stanley. I'm waiting for a new adjustable string spacing saddle from Schaller to put on the Paul Stanley Iceman, because the cheap one I put on there was just to get it set up and put together. So, alright, yeah, it looks like somebody's been twisting on this thing. It is totally moving around. We don't like that. We don't like that kind. Now what I got to do is make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do with the right direction. If you dig what I'm saying. Let's just test this out to make sure I know which direction I want it to go in. Where's my little... So we want rhythm to be up here, sort of in that orientation. Click, click as you're playing. You want not straight up and down, but sort of like that. And it is, the switch is in the right orientation, although it was not when I opened it. Which tells you somebody's been buggering around with it. Or maybe it moved on its own, I don't know. So the switch needs to be turned that direction thusly, and then we can tighten down, make sure the wires aren't being pinched. We can tighten this down without too much trouble. I'm going to put a yes, there's a tool for that, but I don't have it. Somebody borrowed it. Let's just say somebody borrowed it. I like that much better, and yes, it is tight now. Not quite tight. I want it tighter. This thing keeps wanting to come off. I like that. Much better. Now it's snug and secure. I can live with that. I gotta get my little thing that we use for this. The little thingamajigger. I know some of you are horrified that I just did that, but you'll get over it. think nobody ever put a pair of pliers on those things because nobody has the little Y wrench. And let me tell you, the Y wrench does more damage than a pair of pliers does. Because they tend to not grip and they slide all over the place. And I had one. I did use it from time to time only on certain things. It's just it's got two sides to it like so, and they face in different directions, different sizes, and they're made to grip things like that you can't get under with anything else. But I digress. Let us get some measurements on this girl. Why is my 12 down in there? Don't know. I must be losing it. Okay. The survey says I think it's a little tight. But there was no complaint of string buzz. It's so close, I'm going to leave it because that's where I left it before, and I believe he likes where it is. So when I get done, I'll play it and see if there's any string buzz anywhere, and if there is, then we might need to put just a tiny bit. I put the strap locks on it last time; those are good. Yeah, let's see, string height. Again, these measurements shouldn't have changed a whole lot unless somebody's been buggering around with it. Just over 4 on the bass side and right at 4 on the treble. And that's what I like to see a Les Paul. Up or down, not really down much more than that. I mean, some people will tell you 3 on the treble side, 3/64 and 4/64, but I just know where these things like to play. You can set them wherever you want, or I will set them for you wherever you want. But I know through experience and many Les Pauls, that's where I kind of like them. So, all that being said, these strings are going bye-bye. And we're going to clean it up really good. I may even get under there because I'm sure it's nasty under there, and I can see some dust and dirt and grime built up there. I don't like that. So far, I'm liking my new drill, or my new screw gun. It's a little louder than I want, but I'm not going to pay $100 for one of these things. I ordered this one through our favorite, online shopping mall. That's what I call it anyway. And you get around there. Somebody must have broke a high E string and attempted to change it out, because that is not how I wrap them. is not how I wrap them. Get this polished up too. To me, part of the setup is cleaning everything. Can you make it brand new again? Never. But why wouldn't you clean up a guitar while you're doing this? It only takes 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I mean, unless you get a really gacked up mess. I'm going to polish that. We're going to do the best we can to clean up the saddle. You know what a mechanism that is with springs and screws. And I'm not going to get down in there, but I'm going to try to polish up as much of this DNA off of that as possible. And of course, you know, the age-old debate with Les Pauls. You know, screws go this way or that way, but since the intonation is set up already with them pointing that way, that's the way I'm going to leave it. Because if I flip it around, guess what? Now I got to change. I got to set the intonation. This way, I only have to check where I had it set up before and go from there. See if it needs any adjustment. Now, of course, when we wipe this down, these screws are going to get turned. So, yeah, that's all part of the setup. When we get done, we have to adjust the string height. Stand by while I get a couple of things to clean up here. You see quite a mar right there. That's where he's strumming. Let's get he's an excellent player, by the way, and you know, I should tell him to get his own YouTube channel going, because this cat can play, and I've been trying to get him to play with me in my band, and just can't convince him to take that step. Plus, he lives about 100 miles away from me, so you know, maybe that's part of it. Maybe he can't commit to that. But boy, can he play, and I like watching him play. Just get him in a band and get him rock and rolling up on stage. That's what he needs. Yeah, dirty, a little bit dirty. But when you play your instrument every day, you know it's going to get some goop on it. How dirty is it back under there? I'm going to take that off because I don't like it that it's that dirty. I could see gook and shit built up in there, so we're going to clean it. See, I can't just give it back to him dirty. I gotta make sure it's clean as I can make it. Yeah, dirtiness. See that gook that came out of there? You guys probably laughing at me. There's some little goop on there. Nice and shiny now. Okay, I can move that one all the way down so we know our string height's all boogered. I was expecting that. Pretty guitar. Pretty guitar. I like it. What is not to love about a Les Paul? I mean, come on. Especially one that's this nice. Where are you? I see you. What did that take? A minute? You know how many guys will do that for you? None. just heard Santa Claus pull up. Probably got something coming. All right, I'm going to continue to wipe this down. I don't want to waste a lot of video time on it because we're definitely going to dress the frets and oil the board, clean up everything there, and I'm going to finish cleaning up the body and get to the meat of it. Stand by. Okay, so we're done wiping it down. And yeah, dirty, but that's what happens when you play them. So since the last time I saw this guitar, I've got some paint wear here, just from, that's from normal wear. And he must rest here and pluck a little bit or something. And you're starting to get some wear, some play marks on it. And I notice it's got a little beauty mark right up there and right there on the side of the board. But when you play them, that's what happens. That one. Some oil. Let's get after these. These are not bad at all. I'm just going to hit them with a little thousand grit and just shine them a little bit. And it matters because there's sweat and grime that gets on these and it makes them, well, less smooth, not tacky, not, you know, they just feel dirty, you know. So you got to clean them. It's called dressing the frets. It can go as far, do as much or as little as you want to do on frets. These are not that bad. So they just need to get the goop off of them. That's why I use the fret erasers. If they were really dirty, I would do the 3-step process on it, but they're not. What makes them tarnish more than anything is you sweat all over them and then leave the guitar hanging around for the oxidation and the air to get after them. These aren't that bad. Jumbo frets though. This is a beautiful instrument. I love this guitar. And as I said, boy, can he play it. I wish I could play guitar like that. I play bass really well, but guitar is not my forte. I'm not a guitar player. Paper towel. Did my eraser out. Threw it in there like a putz. All right, I'm going to oil the board. You guys have seen that. I'm going to show you a little bit putting it on, but in case there's somebody watching that's never seen it before, boiled linseed oil. I do mine twice a year, my guitars. Stuff's expensive. I don't like wasting it like that. Get some on there, let it sit for a few minutes. And we wipe it off. And if you think this doesn't make a difference, you're wrong. It does. Keeps that wood alive. Keeps it looking new and lustrous. let it go for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Let it soak into the wood a little bit. And pause. So restringing, but before we do that, always check your hardware. Nice and snug. You don't need to go crazy. And these are nice and tight already. You saw us fix that already. Just want to make sure everything's snug. There's no neck bolts on this because it is a set neck, but if it was a fender, I would check the neck bolts. And this may seem redundant, but this is part of a setup. It's not just changing the strings and sending the guy down the road. Clean his guitar, check his hardware. That's why he's bringing it to you, or me. So a little polish on this. I like to use, believe it or not, fret polish. And it usually gives it back a little bit of a luster unless it's really gacked. A little bit dirty, grungy. See the oxidation that comes off? If you can get it off of there, it'll stay looking new much longer. I like that. If you leave it on there indefinitely for decades, yeah, that's why they look old. But good ones like this that have good chrome on them, you get that oxidation off on a regular basis, and it'll never stop it from pitting ever, but it'll put it off for a long, long time. So you don't have to worry about replacing this with another $100 tailpiece. You follow? Just a dab will do you. Brand new. And this guitar is not brand new anymore. Getting some wear on it. It's showing that it gets played, and that's what makes it a beautiful instrument, as much as the fact that it's a Gibson Les Paul. And it was a well-made one, because I've worked on it a couple of times, and it's a really stable instrument, and that means a lot. Because you know what, you can spend thousands on a guitar and get it back to your house, and you know, all of a sudden it doesn't stay in tune. It's not doing this or not doing that. Sometimes it just needs to be set up by the right guy. But this one, I can speak from experience, is a very stable instrument. Saturday afternoon, having a cold beverage. Now, I saw the neatest thing on an Epiphone the other day. An Epiphone Les Paul, cheap guitar, but they had put springs in here, and I'm like, why wouldn't Gibson do that on their own damn instruments? Christ almighty. Because as you're going to see in a second, this is a pain in the butt until you get the first string wound up. That thing is going to fall off, I guarantee it. It's going to fall off the tail posts before I can get the low E secured. Maybe I've gotten better at it. We'll see. And this is how I do it. I suggest you do it the same way. Unless you're doing them one at a time, which is if you're doing your own instrument at home and you're not inclined to change string height and intonation and all that. And all you want to do is change the strings. You can do that. Do them one at a time. Do it just like this on the guitar. Unwind it, cut it, pull it out, put the new one in. One at a time. You won't have to change a thing. It'll be exactly the same as when you started, but it'll have new strings on it. But when you do this, you got to be prepared to check everything. That's what I'm here for. This is what I do. Go to the next peg, maybe a little bit less on the low E because they're fat. Bend it. Through the hole. Stop at the bend. Try to keep some pressure on it. The first time around it goes above the string hole, every other one underneath it. Trim off the excess so you don't poke yourself in the eyeball. And proceed. I will be right back. Stand by. Alright, let us tune. Oh, you're kidding me. It was already right there. I did that one by ear. Not so lucky on that one. Way off on that one. This guitar is so responsive. String height, because I know we boogered with that saddle a little bit. Let's see if I guessed it correctly. I know I didn't, but I could dream a little dream, a little low. Got that one dead on. Now I like I don't remember, does it or doesn't it? It does, and that's what I like about these type of, some of these tune-o-matics have a screw, some of them have an Allen there, and it makes it a lot easier. My fingers are shot trying to grab those tune-o-matic knobs and bring it up. I'm going to guess, my first guess is going to be dead on. I know we need to come up, and this is going to send our tuning off, but I got to get the string action back up, because when I was cleaning it, of course we moved those. A little bit more. There it is. My head is not in the way. If I have to go any higher than that, I'm going to loosen the strings. Only because I have to keep bringing had that one way too close. Just above 464s on the low side, the treble bass side, and on the treble side, right at 4. That's where I set them. Argue if you want. Enter comments here. Tune the pitch and check one more time. And I want to recheck the neck relief. Come on, baby. Get up there. Always the G. I'll be really surprised if his intonation changed. God. I never go all the way up to the 17th. I defy anyone's ear to be able to pick that up. Okay? It is so dead on at the 12th, and that's all you need to do. I will argue that from now until the cows come home. Go ahead. Put your comments in there. Neck relief, just really quickly. No thousandths. Let's just make certain. I just don't want to mess with that. I like it, and it's not buzzing anywhere, and that's where he's been playing it, and it is so right there that if I adjust it, and neck relief will change itself slightly over time, you know, with humidity changes. I've said it a million times. This stuff can't change unless the guitar fairy comes in the middle of the night and unscrews stuff and moves stuff around, but that should stay unless you move it like I did when I was cleaning. But neck relief can change because it's wood and it's living, breathing thing. Stable. Why do I do this? Checking every fret, every position on the neck for buzzing. I guarantee the other guy doesn't do this. That, my friends, is how you set up a Les Paul standard. Beautiful instrument. Very stable. You see now why I'm not gonna mess with that neck relief. It just kisses the 12 thousandths, 10 to 12 thousandths at the 7th, 8th fret. And if we're not getting any buzzing, that's perfect. I would rather err on the side of being a little too straight than being a little too bowed, you know. And this instrument likes it to be there. That's where it wants to be. And I know this because I've worked on this instrument several times. And he only brings it to me when it needs to be set up. Beautiful. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. Thanks for hanging in there. Les Paul standard, restring, clean setup. I hope you dug that. Make comments, like, subscribe. We'll talk soon.